Why did the price of Bitcoin just crash? So we're talking about this video specifically, the crash that occurred over between January 27th, January 25. The price of Bitcoin dropped by something like $8,000 per coin, like roughly 7% of its value in about a day. That's a big drop. For any other asset, that would be like a disaster. For Bitcoin, it is pretty normal. But in this video, I want to talk about what caused that. So in a previous video I made, I talked about there's five main factors that affect the prices of Bitcoin and anything out there, right? News events, large trades by whales affect the price of things. Chain reactions, or what's called a liquidation cascade, where people's orders start to trigger one another and it causes a big sell or a bunch of buying that affects the price of an asset like Bitcoin. Another one would be the major world events, right? Things like that that can affect the price. And COVID affected the prices of everything very negatively. The Trump election in November of 2024 had a very positive effect because people were feeling a lot more excited, feeling like this was going to be a good time for the market. So things went up, right? So these are just some of the things that can affect the price of assets. So what was my guess on this? And that's important to know too, because this is just my guess, right? I think most people will agree with my guess, but some may not. And I would love to hear it if you disagree in the comments. But it is also important to know we always get these things right, right? So we need to have plans in place that help us react to specific events and have a plan on what to do, whether or not we understand why that thing just happened. So maybe the price of Bitcoin just ran up a ton. We should spend our time figuring out or putting into play a plan that we already figured out on what to do when that happens. If the price is going just sideways for a long period of time, same thing. We need to have a plan in place that helps us to know what to do. And if the price drops, we also want a plan in place or figure out a plan that helps us. So that being said, and we've got all kinds of resources here in First Step Bitcoin to help you do this, from mindsets to the type of accounts you use to like how often you should check it, all that types of thing that can help you with these situations. So what caused this situation for me, in my mind, it is the news, right? This weekend or the end of last week, excuse me, a Chinese AI company called DeepSeek AI made some really big announcements that said it had some abilities that where they had advanced the capabilities of AI much more than the existing companies have, the existing AIs out there, and that they had reduced costs drastically. Now, from what I've read, it was kind of a shock to the market. People got really panicked, that the value of the existing AIs might be overpriced. But I would say in further inspection, it looks like their claims are not totally verifiable. So we'll see what happens over time with this. But it does appear that the shock of that announcement affected the tech sector very hardly. Technology investments, technology and companies, the price of their stock took a big hit. But the general market as well went down, these big news events tend to cause. But Bitcoin went down as well because people were probably assessing the situation. They stopped their buying. It reduced demand temporarily. The price dropped by, like I said, about 7%, about $8,000 per Bitcoin. But now, 4 days later, we're already back up to almost the same level before, like within $1,000 of where it was before the drop occurred. Bitcoin recovered very nicely from this news event. But maybe that wasn't it. Maybe you have another idea about what it was. I would love to hear your idea. I'm always looking for ideas, thoughts that challenge what I'm thinking, because maybe I'm thinking about something wrong, or maybe you have a viewpoint that I haven't heard before. So I'd love to hear what your viewpoint is too, especially here in the First Step Bitcoin community. So leave me a comment if you have a different point of view, or if there's something that you think I should think about. I would love to hear it, and we'll see you in the comments.